Hello everyone, my name is MJ Volches, and welcome to my Journey to Awesomeness Animation Workflow 003, where I'll be sharing to you how I do stuff for the Journey to Awesomeness animations. Yeah, if you're wondering what Journey to Awesomeness is, you'll know soon enough, because that's what I'm working on right now. I'm working on a KoFi intro, and this is my progress so far. So let me just... Hello everyone! I'm gonna show this to you, and this should pretty much tell you how what Journey to Awesomeness is. And yeah, I designed the KoFi intro. I wrote the KoFi intro in a way that you'll be able to understand what Journey to Awesomeness is the first time you hear about it, or even if you haven't heard about it yet. So here's my progress on the KoFi intro so far, and we're gonna continue working on it. I'm gonna show you how I'm working on it through this animation workflow live streams. Yeah, here we go. Hello everyone, my name is MJ Vilches, and this is the Doodle Boat, sailing under the flag of Doodle Notes Productions. Aboard this boat, I aim to bring forth awesomeness, which means bringing forth a variety of awesome works of art, mainly films and animations. Awesomeness also means that. The horizon that marks the destination of my journey. The journey to become one of the best filmmaker or storyteller. The journey to awesomeness. Now I can probably sail there using my sweat, tears, and blood as fuel for the boat, but the future of that is not exactly great. That's why I need your help. That's why I need this. The Doodle Fuel. This fuel allows me to keep the boat sailing, while also providing me sustenance to keep on going. Now I can conjure one up by using my talents and skills and passion and love. But what makes a really good doodle fuel is you. So yeah, that's all of my progress so far. I did show in the animation in the first stream how I worked on that doodle shot right here. So you watch how I did that if you're on that stream. And then on the second one, I showed how I did this part. This part was laggy because this is a PNG sequence, and yeah, my laptop can't handle playing a sequence of images, like high quality images for this one. I tried using a .mov file, but it keeps on messing up when I import it in Kdenlive. I'm not sure if it's a Kdenlive thing, or I did not set the proper settings for when I exported the .mov file from Blender. But yeah, since I don't know how to fix it, I decided to use a PNG sequence for this part, so that because of this part where it overlaps with the other shot. Because I need like a transparent background for this video right here, for this part right here, for this shot, so it can do that. It can like overlap on the other video. So yeah, I did more doodle shots off recording here, and then this one too off recording. But right now, I'm gonna be working on this part right here, where I show you. More like a representation of everyone who watches my video, or anyone who supports me. KoFi supporters, especially the ones who's given a certain amount of golden doodle fuels, they have the power, or they can customize this version of them, this avatar of them in the world to awesomeness. And yeah, I guess I'm gonna talk about that more when I start working on it. But yeah, I actually already started working on that you character, which is, I already started like working on a I actually already I think I'm done modeling it already. It should be right here. Excuse me. So yeah, this is what I modeled so far. So this is you. Everyone who watched my videos, right now who's watching. This is how I show you in the Journey to Awesomeness videos. So yeah, if you're a KoFi supporter, you can customize this more. You can give me notes on what you want, on how you want to look for when I show you in the Journey to Awesomeness videos. Yeah, this is like the general look of all of the people who follows the journey to awesomeness. And in this stream, I'm gonna be showing some. Probably I'm gonna be UV editing this so that I can, I'm gonna set up UVs so I can put texture to it easily, and then we're probably gonna be able to proceed to rigging after. So yeah, I guess without further ado, or since I don't have to tell you more about stuff, let's get started on working on this. I'm gonna hide the proxy here because this is like a proxy that is I quickly modeled to follow my height and size in World to Awesomeness, like the CG model of myself, and I needed it so that I can create U, or the U base model. So right now we're gonna do some UV editing. I think for the most part the look of this U character is already nice. I don't want to make it too complicated, and it should stay as low poly as possible, because I don't want it to be too heavy to animate later on, especially if I add it to a scene in the Journey to Awesomeness animations, which means it will be with other CG elements, which will make it heavy and difficult to animate. But anyways, I'm just gonna name this U underscore base. So this is U, or how I'll show you in my videos. You as a viewer, the audiences of Doodle Nose Productions, the followers of Journey to Awesomeness. So right now, let's go to UV editing workspace and do some UV editing to U. So before actually doing that, go back to layout. I'm gonna Control Shift S. I'm gonna save a backup of this U base model underscore backup 001 underscore mirror on, because the mirror modifier would still be on, and we'll have to apply that later on when we're done UV editing. Excuse me. So first, I need to mark some sims before I apply the mirror modifier. So in applying sims for a humanoid model, I always separate the head from the body, so that the face, the face UV map, I can edit it so that it takes up much space, so that I can give more detail to it. So I'm gonna mark sim right around the neck here, and then around the back right here. I have to deselect some of the in front ones here. Select this middle part, probably, yes, and then I think I need to change to an edge select around the leg right here. Marking sims is like cutting clothes. You gotta mark to the parts where you want the UV to, and kind of like marking the cuts on the clothes, so that when you lay it down on the floor after cutting, you can lay down all of the shirt or all of the clothes, like each part of the clothes can be laid down on the floor properly or neatly. It's so difficult to explain. Yeah, it's like cutting up clothes so that you can lay it down on the floor with all of its parts, even the front and the back. On the front and the back, all of the sides is pointing towards you, pointing upwards, and not facing the floor. That's kind of how I think best way to explain what UV editing is for texturing. So I'm gonna select this bottom part right here. I'm gonna mark sim that. So in order to make sure we're selecting the right edge loops, I need to go to wireframe view, make sure I save, and then I'm gonna also select this edge loop right here. Excuse me. So yeah, I think that works. I'm probably going to do something like something like this maybe, so that it looks like laid out on the UV map properly. I'm gonna control E. I mean, nope, no. Control E, and mark sim. And now we have to mark sim the hand. So the hand part, thumbs, always mark sim like on the middle of the hand right here. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do something like that, and that should be fine. This whole loop simmed like that. Just gonna deselect parts of the arm here, and I'm gonna control E, mark sim. So let's see how that looks. We might end up changing how to mark sim some parts here, but yeah, let's see how that looks. After marking sims, I'm actually gonna control shift as I'm gonna save a backup. U-base model. Yeah, as you can see, there's tons of backup there of previous models, like the model of my little sister. CG model backup 2. Marked sims. So let's just save it there, and then you gotta go back to the original Blender file each time I do that, because you don't want to be editing the backup one. So since we now have a backup, now I can apply the mirror modifier, which you can do now. Before, there's an apply button here at the bottom of the modifier, but now you have to press this down arrow right here, and you press apply. And that should apply the mirror modifier. Now we can go to UV. We gotta go back to UV editing, I think. UV editing. I'm gonna select everything. U, unwrap. And I forgot to switch on my screencast. Sorry about that. So now where our sims are right here. It looks nice. This should be the head area. These are the arms or the legs, probably. Yeah, that should be the legs. Looks like I forgot to mark sim some parts of the legs here. Yeah, let's fix that. I'm gonna turn on X-ray for now. Select this loop right here, control E, mark sim. And now I'm gonna unwrap again. And that should change. Excuse me. So we have this here right now. Let's go to UV. Average island scales. I'm gonna back islands. And I'll need to arrange this so that it looks nice. So I'm gonna rotate R 90 degrees to negative 90 degrees. I'm just gonna put this on the side right here. So I'm gonna control L, GX. I'm gonna be using a huge texture for this one. The body texture will be there. I won't be resizing any of them. So the body and the head right here, or maybe I can put the head right here. So there are tons of programs that makes this UV arranging, easier. I think. I'm just not using them because I like to, to just use Blender without using too much of a third-party program. I want to, show you guys how to do it, I guess, by just using Blender. But there are, excuse me, there are, Blender add-ons you can use to make this process faster. So yeah, sorry about that. Like in the morning, it's just my throat, I did not clear it up before starting the whole thing, so it's usually happening. It's like a usual thing on the streams now, but soon it will be gone once my throat's really cleared up. That's because I don't do any vocal exercises before starting this whole thing. Anyways, I'm just gonna go arrange this. This should be, I think these are the legs, and I think I put it upside down. These are the legs, I'm pretty sure. Because if I do this, we select part of the leg here, as you can see. Enabling this means that, you know, the as you can read here, it syncs with, you know, a mesh. If you select parts here, it will select exactly where it is on the mesh. That means this line right here, means edge right here, is on this part. That means this is the right leg, which is outside our UV grid, which is not good. So we have to bring that back. I need to turn off proportional editing. We don't want that. I also need to turn off the sync, the UV sync. And then I'm gonna arrange UVs here. So this is the leg. So maybe we have to put it down here. Control L. I'm gonna put the leg down here. So if you're working on a serious like 3D model, I think it's best to remember all of these parts for later. So I'm gonna put the body right here. This is obviously the body because of this is the arm. If your model really have a face, the face part will also be very obvious. I think I need to bring that back up. And this is the feet or the foot. I'll put it down here. So yeah, it's not really important whether this is arranged or not, but to save myself trouble in the future, I'm taking the time to do it so that in the future, if I want to texture these parts, you know, they're already nicely arranged here, and I don't have to, you know, I don't curse my past self for being too lazy to arrange UVs. So I'm taking the time to arrange it right now to save my future self some trouble. And because of that, there have been many times where I thanked my past self for thinking about this, for thinking, you know, thinking further ahead a little bit when working on this stuff. So yeah, I'm gonna go. But the thing is, once I do like edit this model to fit the notes of my KoFi supporters, you know, Mbuddy, if you're watching and you wanna, you know, make notes. And actually, I'm pretty much gonna follow what we've already discussed about your character or avatar on the World to Awesomeness, and I'm gonna be following that. And yeah, you are going to be making an appearance on Doodlelog005, which I'll be sharing more in the future, or you know, maybe next week, because I plan to start working on it this month. And I'm probably gonna be sharing more about my plans for other videos in the journey to awesomeness. In the VIP lounge, which is only accessible by my KoFi givers. So if you want to support me, you know, in my endeavors, in my journey, go to my KoFi page. The link will be in the description below. And give me some support. Even if you give me one time, even if it's just $1, you will already have access to the VIP lounge, the VIP parts of the Discord server, which is, you know, if you want to join in, the link will be in the description below. So, and Discord server, there you can, you know, ask me questions, ask questions about the videos I do, or ask Blender questions. Everything, just you can just discuss anything that I have knowledge of. So yeah, we've done arranging our UVs here, the hand. I think that's good. Next after this is we need to go to a texture paint. So I'm gonna go to texture paint. And we can either add a texture probably from here, but I always want to do it right here because doing it here immediately adds the node to the shader or the material. So I'm gonna add a texture here, add a texture paint slot, and I'm gonna name this hue base color, and I'm gonna make this really big, about 4K. So this is gonna be a 4K image, or maybe I'll settle with 3K or 2K. Yeah, just 2K, because this will 4K will load very slowly. And I'm gonna make this into a color, and we're gonna make the color slightly white. Like white, but not too much. Maybe a little bit darker right here. 30-bit float that, and just set that to blank, and that should give it a white texture. So I'm gonna select the U base color here, and actually for the U base model, the only thing I'm going to put as a texture is this. Let's go to here. I always want to add a color palette, or actually there's a palette here within Blender, but that we can use, so I'm just gonna use that instead. I'm gonna grab this color, change the parameters or the settings for a brush. I want to change the fall off to root maybe, and then I'm gonna change the size or the radius to smaller, even smaller, maybe about 15. And the only texture for this is actually like that for you, but this is only for the KoFi intro. Actually need to make sure that the strength is consistent, and we need to turn on the radius for the paint so that it follows, like, you know, the pressure of the brush. I don't think root is the right fall off for this. So fall off is like how smooth the edges of your line will be. So sphere, I think, is our brush, but if you select constant, it would be too sharp. You know, the edges will be, you know, jagged. If you select sharp, the edges is like very smooth. You know, it's feathered, it's blurred, whatever is the term for it. Same goes to the other things. And I think sphere is our brush for this one. But the thing is, if this doesn't work, I'm just gonna do this, adding this word using GIMP or other. But I think I'm gonna be using GIMP, and I'm gonna use you know, a font to do it. Yeah, that's just the texture. Gotta make sure that the texture is saved by going to image, save as, and you gotta go to the textures, send base change, images, textures, final. So I'm just gonna save the U base color right here as a PNG file format. So I always use the PNG file format in saving my textures, because other formats would be too big for me to handle, and I think PNG format is already doing a great. It's already a great format to work on. It's already a high quality format. But you know, there are other formats that would make it even more high quality. So anyways, after doing that texture, let's properly set up the material here, which what I usually do is just lower the specularity a bit. And for this one, I wanna make it look a bit shiny. Let's change the I wanna change the HDRI for the preview here, just so we can see more of the shine. I don't want it to be that shiny, so let's change the clear coat roughness maybe to about 0.15. So this is you, but you are too shiny, so I'm gonna 0.25. So yeah, that's it for now. I'm probably gonna be doing some more tweaks of recording, but yeah, just know that most of the editing I usually do is just changing the roughness, changing how shiny it is. Sometimes being too shiny doesn't really look great. Yeah, right now we can proceed to rigging. So I'm gonna go back to layout, Shift S cursor to world origin to bring back the cursor to the world origin right here, and we're going to start rigging you. So I need to also put this in a new collection, call this U base. as in U base model. And this is going to be the collection that I'm gonna be appending to other scenes each time I want the U character model. So I'm gonna Shift A. I'm gonna add an armature. Actually, I need to go to edit because I just recently reset to factory settings my Blender. I usually do that all the time. So some of the add-ons are back to disabled. And since I don't really enable too many add-ons, you know, I don't mind resetting Blender to factory settings. So I'm just gonna look for Rigify here because we are gonna be enabling that. We're gonna be using that for the U character. This rigging add-on is actually, you know, it's built in Blender, so it's technically, you know, included in Blender, but you still need to like turn it on. And yeah, this is the rigging add-on. This is the only rigging add-on that I use mostly for my animations because it's easy to deal with. And for this, I'm probably gonna go to basic human. It's probably gonna look really different. I guess, let me check basic human meta rig. How does it look? Yeah, I need the basic human meta rig because the human meta rig has the face bones on it, and since I don't want to rig the face because, you know, this character model doesn't have a face, I'm not gonna be, I don't want those extra bones there. I mean, even by using human meta rig right here, you can still use this, but you just have to delete all the facial bones. But that might cause some problems, so I'm just gonna go with this basic human. Actually, no, I can't go with this one because it doesn't have fingers. I'm going to have to go with the human meta rig, and we'll see if issues will arise when we, you know, when we delete some bones here. But in past experiences, things are fine actually. So yeah, I guess we'll see. I need to go to viewport display and set this to in front so we can always see it, regardless, even though it's, you know, under other objects in the scene. So, and then I'm gonna scale it to follow the size of our character model here. And then I'm gonna tab to edit mode. I'm gonna apply the scale later after I'm done, you know, editing everything. So one of the first things we need to do is delete the face bones. So I'm gonna delete all of this. Is also the ears, and I need to delete the face bone. Is this, no, that's the spine, which will control the head. I think this is the face bone right here. Let's separate that so we can easily select this. And then I'm gonna select the ears, we don't need it, and delete those bones. And that should be fine. Everything should work well. I'm also gonna delete the breast bones maybe. But like I said, you can use the breastbones to animate breathing. The breathing animation, because, you know, adding like breathing animation for your characters really adds more to the you know, the natural. You know, it adds more appeal to the character. Makes it more, makes the illusion of it having life more. You know, it emphasizes that illusion. But then in the Journey to Awesomeness, I don't really do the breathing animation because I need to animate Journey to Awesomeness animations as fast as I can. So I bypass some of the animation stuff that I do to refine the animation. Anyways, yeah. Let's go and align some bones here to our mesh. So I need that arm to be like, the rotation of this arm to be like around here. So we Shift S cursor to select it here. I selected the whole edge here so that the cursor is like right in the middle of that, and that's where I want the joint for the arm is. So I'm gonna go Shift S selection to cursor right here. Add that right there. Shoulder bones somewhere right here. And yeah, I actually need to start with the torso. So I'm just gonna hide other layers there. And let's start by aligning the torso here. So this is the pelvis bones right here, I think. Yeah, pelvis bones. So this needs to be right around the pelvis area, of course. So right there, maybe like that. And this bone is important so that, you know, when weighting, applying automatic weights, Blender will have a bone here that will, you know, that will say, okay, that's the pelvis bone, so it's gonna automatically parent or weight the pelvis part of the mesh to the pelvis bone, which will make the rigging or the weight painting more, you know, accurate to the right anatomy. So this is a spine. So usually this, all of the spine right here should be the right size. This is another spine. So that's the pelvis bone. I'm just gonna distribute each of this evenly here, the spine. And this, both of these are the neck bones, I think. So I have to make sure that this is aligned to the, yeah, this, both of these bones are neck bones. So I need this to be smaller. And more right here. So like that. And I need to make sure that the head bone is like straight, depending on how the bone, the head is modeled in the character. So I'm gonna set the pivot point to 3D cursor. I'm gonna S, Y, 0. That will just scale the whole thing to Y-axis in the zero value, which is, you know, right here. So it lines up straight, right, like that. And I'm going to drag it upwards. So I think we're done with the torso area. Let's move on to the rest. So yeah, the fingers and the arms, I think I will be aligning together. So the middle of the arm should be right here. Cursor to selected. Or the, you know, the elbow. Middle of the arm. So right there. Let me turn off the fingers for a while so I can align the hand part here properly. So I need to bring the elbow back a bit so that it, you know, it deforms properly later. And just align the hand right in the middle of the hand here. So something like that might work. Like this. And we're gonna be tweaking more of that later. For now, I want it to be straight right there. And that should do it for the arms. Now we're gonna proceed to the fingers. So I'm gonna start with the thumb. And since I turned on X-axis mirror here in the tool, in the end panel, since X-axis mirror is on, if I move one part, like this part of the fingers, the other one will follow. It will mirror it, which makes this whole editing thing easier. So I'm just gonna do that. Drag the thumb right here. First, I'm gonna rotate it around to follow the thumb, the shape of our thumb right here. And then I'm gonna go select this middle part right here of the thumb. Shift S, cursor to selected. I'm gonna go grab this nodule here and Shift S, selection to cursor, keep offset, and do the same thing for the other one, but this time on the middle of the thumb right here, cursor to selected. And I'm gonna grab the other nodule, Shift S, selection to cursor. I'm gonna be doing that for the rest of the fingers. Just aligning the joints to how to where the joints are really on a thumb. So the other joint should be right here. I think right here is the other joint. No, that's not where the other joint will be. I mean, you can use your own fingers, your own thumb for reference. That is what I'm doing right now. And I think the other joint is in the middle of this, right here. So Chris, it's selected. And I'm just gonna drag this back, because this nodule is the other joint. And I need it to be right there, I think. And this one will be right here. Because you have like a joint here, like this huge ball in your thumb, like the base of your thumb. That's actually where the joint is. And you know where this joint is. So maybe somewhere like right there. Like right here. Like this part of your... You have like a joint around this part of your finger. Of everyone's finger, I think. Or, you know, according to science. Anyways, let's keep going. So yeah, we will be able to rig this whole thing within the stream. Like, be able to rig the character, do some quick white painting, and then be able to like pose him around. So we have this finger right here. This is just going to be a repeating process, which, you know, what you're going to end up doing if you become an artist, and especially a 3D artist. There's gonna be a lot of tedious stuff you're gonna deal with, especially if you're, you know, filmmaking or animating. Filmmaking and animating involves a ton of tedious tasks, but if you do it right, if you do it, you know, without failing too much, you're gonna the resulting work will be awesome. So I'm gonna select this part right here. I'm gonna turn off X-ray for now. So Shift S, cursor to selected. The knuckle bone is right here on the knuckle, and that's the knuckle joint is, or nodule is this one right here. I'm gonna turn on X-ray again so we can see stuff. So I'm gonna Shift S, selection the cursor, and that's our knuckle bone right here. And this is the hand bone, which should just be right about there. So maybe right here. I'm probably gonna move back the thumb somewhere right here. So yeah, modeling the hand is one of the things that's really a struggle to most CG artists. And yeah, that's one of my struggles. I still can't model hands properly, so I'll need to practice more on that area. Trying to develop ways on modeling hands in a low poly kind of way, so that I don't add too many edge loops and vertices and stuff. So I'm just gonna align this right here. And like that. So Shift S, cursor selected. I'm going to need to turn on axis for the bones for now, because I want to ensure, because for the fingers you need to make sure that the Z axis is pointing downwards, which means, you know, how your fingers bend towards, like the direction of the bending of your fingers. That's where the Z axis should be pointed towards. So you can see right here it's pointing downwards because the finger is like bending towards that direction, like there. So I'm gonna make sure that I fix that later after aligning these bones. So I'm gonna Shift S, selection to cursor that one, grab the middle part right here, Shift S, cursor to selected, and then I'm just gonna go and breeze through this. This is a repeating task. And select the knuckle area of this finger. And select this part. Cursor to selected. Select both the nodules there. Selection to cursor. And then let's do it for the rest of the fingers. So I'm just gonna move pinky right there, the index finger, and move it a bit just so it's aligned as much as possible. So like that. And then I'm going to Shift S cursor selected this tip of the finger, get the topmost nodule, Shift S cursor selected, and then grab the nodule right here, Shift S cursor selected, and we're almost done. Section to cursor, keep offset. Now for the pinky finger. First, let's select the bones and just rotate it some. Grab the tips, cursor selected. The selection to cursor, keep offset. Switch that to edge select, it's easier. Selection to cursor, cursor selected, and selection to cursor. And then we're gonna select face. I'm gonna do this face select here because it'd be easy to select this face right here. Shift S cursor selected there. Shift select, and there we go. Now we just need to align the hand bones here properly. So I think that's already looking good. Let's go to the front view. Make sure that they're all aligned. So yeah, there's the pinky bone. And now we are going to change the axis of this. Shift. I'm going to try Shift and global negative Z axis. That should point the Z axis downwards perfectly, which is how our fingers are modeled for this one. But some of them aren't doing that, so I'm going to have to select this bone, Shift and active bone. And there we go. It's even the thumb rotated it the right way. As you can see, it's pointing towards that direction, which is where the thumb will be bending. And I think we're good here. I think we're good here. Everything is nice and straight right here. I probably need to also straighten the knuckle bones right here. And that should do it. Should be done. Yeah, we're good on the fingers. Now let's proceed to the legs, which should be easier compared to the fingers. Just need to drag it here. So you also need to refer to your own bones or your own, the human anatomy when aligning the bones here. So the leg, this joint of the leg is not right here, like maybe some beginners end up doing, which I also end up doing in the past. This joint is not here. It should be right around the pelvis area as well. It should be right here. So knees, I'm gonna grab the leg, the edge select, cursor selected on that one. I'm gonna do Shift S selection to cursor on this one. I'm gonna drag it further towards the front so that later the IK would bend it, on the right way. So I'm gonna select this bone GY. I'll bring back our foot bone here. And I'm gonna select this edge loop right here to selected. And align a lot of the bones. Selection cursor keep offset right here. We have to make sure we align this to, you know, the part of your feet where it bends. So if you have toes, you also probably have to rig it, but since we don't have toes here, we're not gonna do that. So I think we're good here. I think this is already on the right spot. This should be on the heel area, and I think we're good. We can like show all of the layers here. That's already good. I'm gonna control tab back to object mode. I'm gonna control A, set the scale. I'm gonna apply the scale. Control A, and then select scale. And I'm gonna save a backup. So backup, base model backup 003, I think, is where we are at. Let's make sure. Yeah, we're at 003, and this is Rigify, rig not generated. Rig not generated, which means we haven't generated the rig yet. Which means, you know, this part right here, generate rig. So I need to select new. Actually, on the Plasticman video, when I selected override and changed the rig name, an error occurred. In order for that error to not occur, you need to select new and rename this. So I'm just gonna go view base. That's the name, and then I'm gonna generate rig, and that should generate the rig. And if you apply the scale, it would, you know, follow the right scale. So we're done with that. We don't need the meta rig anymore, so we're just gonna move that to a layer or collection that we are going to hide, because that's not gonna be included in anything. We're gonna be using the U base rig, this one, which we can parent our mesh by selecting the mesh and then the bone. I'm gonna control P. Oh, no. Before parenting, there's actually one more thing that you need to make sure, and that's the rotation of the fingers right here. Because after generating the rig, the rotation of the fingers, it kind of, you know, it breaks. And that's kind of how it is when doing automated stuff, I guess. And as you can see, the bone rolls are not rotated the right way. It's gonna be a pain in the butt. So I need to select every bone hidden here and make sure that all of the finger bones are selected, not the hand bone. And then I'm gonna shift N. I'm gonna repeat what I did before. Let's display the axis. The axis of each of the finger bones should be pointed downwards. Yes, and then I'm gonna select the forefinger. I'm gonna select this bone, I guess. I'm gonna shift N, active bone, because it applies, you know, whatever it is you selected here last, which is the active bone. It when you shift N and select active bone, it will copy the rotation of, you know, the active bone, the selected bone, which is what it did, and that's why now the fingers will be properly. Except for the other part, because we did not turn on axis mirror for this. So I'm going to shift N again, active bone, and that the other finger should follow. And I think it's safe now to parent our the mesh to the bones. So here we go. We have to go to item. That's where all the rig layers are. I'm gonna select the bone. I actually need to turn off axes as well for the bone. Just select mesh, select the bone, control P. I'm gonna go an armature deform with automatic weights. And if we do this, our mesh should, I think it would have like the best rigging already, except for some weight painting issues. But yeah, as you can see here, it's like following nicely to our bone. Yeah, and Blender should have, Rigify should do a great job on. Wait, looks like we also need to. Yeah, I'm going to need to Control Z, because it turns out that we'll need to also rotate the hand bone. Again, I need to check if it's okay. It's not rigged. It's not parented. I also need to make sure that the hand bones are. I'm gonna hide the finger bones for now. Finger details, because I need to select to edit mode. Select all of the hand bones right here. Deselect the finger bone, and this I want all of the hand bone. I'll tell you what, Shift and global local I think x-axis, Shift and global x-axis, global negative x-axis maybe, or maybe not. I want it to follow the rotation of the arm, so I'm just gonna select an arm bone here, Shift and active bone, and that should fix the problem. And I want to make sure that it's properly rotated. Shift N. I'm gonna try global y-axis. Yeah, I think the global y-axis is the right one here. Global negative y-axis, because the Z needs to point straight towards the front. As you can see here, the Z-axis. So yeah, let's try that. I'm gonna tab back to post mode. Deselect some of the bones that should be hidden here. Let's try parenting this. Or wait, I can actually just. Yeah, I think this is deforming properly. Rotating on the right direction now. Okay. Let's parent the mesh again. Control P with automatic weights. And we should be good. Wait a minute. Need to turn on the fingers. Let's do that again. Control P with automatic weights. And this should be fine. So yeah, there we go. Everything's deforming nice, except for some parts of the leg here, I think. If I do this, as you can see, the heels is racing right there. That's an easy fix, actually. I just need to turn on the deform bones, which is this one. I need to select the bone and the mesh, Control Tab, and select weight paint. And I need to turn off X-ray so that it displays properly. And I'm going to subtract some influence of the bones here. Need to go to Tool, I think Symmetry. I don't think it's Symmetry. I think it's in Options, X Mirror. So that whatever changes I make here is also applied on the opposite side. So I'm going to deselect. I'm gonna not parent this part for this leg, because that's what's causing the heels to raise up the way it does. But I do need to add, parts of it. Parts of this here. Select this bone. And I'm going to subtract parts at the top there, because that feet shouldn't have any influence on the part of the leg there. And then I'm gonna add the heels to it, 100%. Red means it's 100% parented to the bone. So I think most of the bones here are nice and, you know, are nicely rigged. I don't need to do anything else. I mean, the arms also. So I'm gonna go to object mode and hide the deformed bones. So yeah, I think, yeah, it's, as you can see, that has a nice deformation there. Let's try racing the hand. And I think, yeah, that's nice. Let's rotate this bone right here. There we go. Nice and rigged. Another thing I want to test are the fingers. And yep, rotating on the right direction. Also the hand bone, right direction. So you can't really, yeah, you can't do that actually on the real thumb. So yeah, good here. Alt S, I mean Alt A, Alt R, Alt G, Alt S to rotate, to reset everything to the rest position. So now our heel should be fine. It shouldn't follow the leg in a weird way. Also, I need to move the armature modifier. I'm gonna go select the mesh. The armature modifier should be before the subdivision surface modifier. So yeah, as you can see, it's this is probably another thing we need to change right here. I need to like do some weight painting. This is gonna be the final weight paintings I'm going to do. Like this heel area should have more influence, so I'm gonna add more here. Should have added like this entire part right here on the heel. And I think it should be fine to just do it like that. And I'm gonna subtract the influence of the feet bone right here. And there's a deformation in the leg that I don't like around the feet area here, so I'm gonna reduce the influence of that. And then let's see how things will look. There's probably a face here that's not parented nicely. Let's see how that looks. So yeah, looks nice now. Okay, we're good. So now the U character is ready for animation. At this point, you know, it's ready for animation. Let's just pose him around. So yeah, I might find more issues on this character model and the rigging later on, but for now, yeah, things are moving nicely. Dance and stuff. So yeah, I think we're good. Yeah, that's all I think for this stream. Thanks so much for, you know, the few people who watch the stream. Any one of you can watch this later on, which is I think most of you are doing, because probably the schedule is not it's not compatible with some of the viewers in the channel. So some can't make it on the most of you can't make it on the streams. But anyways, the stream is not just a stream, but it's also a video for the channel. So, you know, any one of you who watch this, even if you're not in a live stream, but you know, you watch it up to this point, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully I've shared some new knowledge for you guys through these videos. And yeah, that's all for now. I'm gonna be animating this. I'm gonna be putting this on the scene. And yeah, thanks so much for watching. Thanks to Mbuddy if you watch still. Thanks. And yeah, to the other viewers here. And yeah, hey, Ken Furchi, thank you for watching. And yeah, I think that's all. Thank you so much, everyone who's here. Also, a huge thanks to my KoFi givers, Magnolia Weathershield, Erick Madrigal, Elizabeth Munie, Tristan Wintle, GulliermoGage, and Mbuddy. Thank you so much, guys. Yeah, if you want to support me, go to ko-fi.com/doodlenoseproductions. There will be perks. I will be creating a post about that soon, because that part of the KoFi intro is showing the perks. But yeah, one of the perks is this avatar of yours in this world of mine, which is called World to Awesomeness, which also has a Discord server. So if you're on Discord, enter the World to Awesomeness. That's where I make a lot of updates there, both for the public and for the VIP or the KoFi supporters. I give constant updates and early sneak peeks of some work in progress stuff. And yeah, we can discuss stuff there, talk about stuff, or if you want to ask help in Blender, you can ask there. I'm gonna try my best to help you in your problem. Yeah, I think that's all for now. Thank you so much for watching. And yeah, my name is MJ Vilches. And yeah, I'm gonna keep working on the KoFi intro so that it's done. So yeah, that's all. Thanks. Bye.